So I know this is a favorites video, but I feel like favorites videos low-key scream toxic, don't they? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. Today's video I'm excited for. I am doing my 2021 best of beauty makeup. I'm only doing makeup. Last year I did like my best of beauty favorites and I did some fragrances. I did some like girly items, but today's video is only going to be holy grail makeup items of 2021. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you decide to subscribe, and if you're someone who's returning, hey girl, hey. I don't know why, but videos like these always excite me because they take me back to my roots, like why I started my YouTube channel, and that was basically all things beauty. And I'm excited for this year because I really want to get back to my roots in beauty as far as like doing makeup and skincare routines and, you know, first impressions, things like that that I was doing in 2019, 2020. So to get started, we're gonna jump right into primers. You guys know I really only use 2 primers. That's the only thing I really mention on my channel, and I don't even know if these changed from last year. I have 2 tried and true primers, and that is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer and then my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. These 2 primers have been with me for the last 2 years. This year will make a 3rd year. These were great throughout my pregnancy. They did not make me break out. My skin did not change too much during my pregnancy. Like my first trimester, I did break out. Like I had like a lot of like acne. But once I got into like my 2nd and 3rd trimester, my skin kind of regulated itself again and it kind of like settled and got back to normal. But these 2 primers have been my jam literally since 2020, and they're not really going anywhere. I don't think they are. I did pick up the new e.l.f. primer that's supposed to be a dupe for the Milk Makeup one, but I'm going to be trying that in a separate video, so stay tuned. I'm just gonna mention this now because I feel like I could mention it at the end, but I only have one and I figured I should mention it now with like primers, setting sprays, yada yada. And that is my Morphe Continuous Mist Setting Spray. I don't know what it is about this particular setting spray. It gives me that hydration that I need at the end of my makeup after I have put all my powders on. And something about this I just really love. I feel like if I had to pick any other setting spray, I would probably either pick the MAC Fix Plus, or I would pick the Charlotte Tilbury. I mentioned it in my video last year. It's the Charlotte Tilbury, like, I don't know, it's like their most lasting setting spray. I mentioned it in my video last year. I will link that video down below and you guys can check that out as well. That was my really like holy grail favorite setting spray last year. I did finish it and I never picked another one up. I did like it. It's just one of those things where your makeup like clings to your face, and I didn't really need that this year. I was way more about hydration. It was so hot this summer that I really didn't want a matte finish. I was looking for more of a dewy hydrated finish, so I was using the Morphe setting spray way more. Next, we are jumping right into Complexion, and my favorite foundation from 2021 is by far the NARS Sheer Glow foundation. I have this in the shade Messin. It's M-E-S-S-I-N. It's medium 3.2. This shade is a Sephora exclusive shade, so this is the shade that goes in between Stromboli and Barcelona. Barcelona is a little too dark for me, and Stromboli is so yellow on me that when I found this, I was just like, like this was literally color wise and like finish wise. I know the NARS Sheer Glow is used for like weddings and stuff like that. It's actually what I'm wearing today. This just wore on my skin so good in 2021, even as far as like when it was hot outside. As long as I set this sat really good on the skin. Now if you are someone who's a little bit more oily, your skin might not like this because like I said, it's a little bit more of a sheer glow foundation. They don't have this shade in like the longer version of the NARS, like the NARS, I think it's like their long wear foundation or whatever. But if you are my complexion and Stromboli is too like yellowy for you and Barcelona is too dark, try this shade from Sephora and tell me how you feel, because this is my jam. The next 2 foundations that I'm going to mention are repeats from last year's Best of Beauty, and the first one is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. Do not mind that this is so gunky. I reach for this and then I don't. I have like my moments where I love this foundation and then I have my moments where it just sits. So I'm in the shade 3W 1.5 Fawn. And then the other one that I want to mention is the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. And this one I am in shade 5.75. I think last year I was in the shade 6. I actually love using these paired together. And the reason why I love them is this is going to give you that full coverage that is going to last you all day long, and you will not have flashback, none of that. And something about the luminous silk just literally leaves your skin looking so satiny, and literally it's luminous silk. These are like Batman and Robin for me, and I really did love these this year as well as the previous year. The Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation, let me tell you. So this is one of those foundations that like you turn it and it has like the doe foot applicator, so it kind of looks like a concealer. This shade is golden neutral. If every line could come out with a golden neutral of their own, I feel like I would find my foundation shade in every foundation, not have to mix, not have to like bronze it like crazy. I have been using this off and on since literally 2018, and it's one of my all-time favorites. I will always reach for this. The next foundation that I'm mentioning is the L'Oreal True Match, and this is a holy grail. I feel like this is one of those OG foundations. I have two shades. I have W4 and W4.5. This is so breathable. You can do so much with this. You can build it up, you can leave it on your skin, like it dries down like more of a satiny kind of finish. The only thing I will say about this is it does have SPF in it, so sometimes this can give you a little bit of flashback. But as far as like wearability and shades, like they have so many different shades in this foundation. This is one of those drugstore foundations that has been out forever, and I just feel like sometimes this is really slept on. Moving on to concealers, I'm going to be mentioning two brands, but two concealers from the same brand, if that makes sense. So first, I feel like this is something that I didn't use for probably a year and a half maybe, and I did dip into it a couple of times last year for like the first time within like over a year. That is the Tarte Shape Tape. You guys know this is like a cult favorite. I have it in the shade medium. Aside from this, I really only used one other concealer. Yes, are you talking for my video? I just feel like you can't mention best of beauty favorites without mentioning the e.l.f. camo concealers. I feel like e.l.f. has been literally killing the game. I do have one of the like original 16-hour wear ones. I don't reach for this as much as I reach for the hydrating ones. I have the hydrating ones in medium sand and light beige. These are my BFFs. These are my girls. These go where I go, and that's just all there is to it. These I feel like work with every single foundation that I mentioned to you guys. I never have an issue out of these. They are my absolute favorite. I don't crease under the eye. They provide hydration, like they literally say, 16-hour wear, satin finish. I love the undertones of them. Moving right along, I'm gonna jump into blushes, and I have so many blushes here, it's actually a little ridiculous. This is the Fenty Beauty Cream Blush in the shade Petal Poppin'. This, hello. I loved these cream products from Fenty ever since they came out. I used to have this in a like more orangey shade too. I just don't know where it is nowadays. But I have always kept Petal Poppin' in my makeup bag, so when I started to mess with this again, I was like, oh my goodness, I remember why I love these so much. The next two blushes that I'm gonna mention are from KKW Beauty, and the one is one of her original ones. This one is called Flower Wall, and I believe, I can't even open it. So this shade is called Flower Wall from KKW Beauty. When I tell you that this is one of my most used blushes, and like one of the blushes I am like the most complimented on, this is the one right here. This is my girl. I love this blush. I believe that the Flower Wall one is from like her bridal collection, and then the other one from KKW is the KKW X Mario, and this one is called Very Graceful. One of my OG blushes. This is the MAC Melba blush. If you know, you know. MAC Melba is that girl. MAC Melba is one of those blushes that it's just such a beautiful matte blush. It's just like the prettiest pink, like such a girly pink. You just can't go wrong. Milani Luminoso is an OG. Luminoso leaves you that really pretty sheen like finish. It's one of those blushes that when you use it, you literally don't have to use a highlighter because it gives you such a gorgeous like natural glow to the skin. There's one more blush that I wanted to give honorable mention to, and that is the Patrick Ta blush that I have. I believe I linked it in my video from last year, but I just couldn't find it. It's somewhere in this makeup. These bronzers were in rotation constantly last year. So the first one, I actually just discovered this while I was still pregnant. This is probably like June or July. This is the e.l.f. Putty, what is this called? The e.l.f. Putty bronzer, and I'm not really sure what shade this is because I don't have this. Oh, no. This is the shade Golden Days, and I discovered this back in like June or July while I was still pregnant, and I've loved this ever since. Honorable mention to LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Beautiful Bronze and Chestnut, maybe, I forget. But really, I don't use a lot of different like cream contours and stuff like that. I don't know what it is about this shade or this formula that it just blends out so beautifully, like it does the damn thing. It's what I have on today and I absolutely love it. This one is one of my most used bronzers ever. This is my Sephora Micro Smooth powder in the shade Deep. Bronzer is literally that perfect golden color. I reach for this literally every single day. I think the reason that I love the Sephora Micro Smooth so much is because this technically, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a foundation of some sort, but it has those like micro smooth properties in it. Next bronzer is another, if you know kind of bronzer, and this is the MAC Dark Bronzer. It's one of the skin finishes, like the mineralized skin finishes, and baby, when I tell you that this is my summer bronzer, this is all I use in the summertime. I can have a tan from here to Puerto Rico and this is going to give me that glow. I actually went to Puerto Rico in June and this is what I took with me. I took this one, and I did take my Sephora one because you guys know she stays in the makeup bag, but I took this with me, and even with my sunburn and stuff, this looked so good on the skin. I discovered this, I was definitely still pregnant when I discovered this. I think this was over the summer, probably around the same time I discovered the contour from e.l.f., like the putty bronzer or whatever. And this is the Juvia's Place bronzer duo. When I tell you this bronzer gets used up every day, she gets used up every single day, like both. Back and forth every single day. And the main thing that I like about this little duo is, number one, it's two different undertones, which I love. I love that the two undertones, number one, they complement each other, so you can use one as a contour and the other one for bronzer, number one. Number two, I love that you can actually swirl them together and you get this just beautiful finish. And the third thing that I love about them is there is not a lot of fallout. The other two bronzers that I mentioned, they do kind of give a little bit of like kickback, a little bit of fallout. These are so good. I'm literally obsessed with them, and baby, top two, not two, I'm obsessed. It's actually what I'm wearing today. I was like, yeah, this video is not going to be long. Here we are 28 minutes later. Like, girl, I need to speed it on up. So aside from tried and true Laura Mercier, I dipped into these three setting powders non-stop in 2021, and the first one that I'm going to mention is the Derma Blend setting powder, and this is in the shade Translucent. I do believe that they have, or no, I'm sorry, this is in the shade Original. I do believe they have like a banana version of this, and then they have one for deeper complexions as well. Kind of like the same shades of the Laura Mercier they have for the Derma Blend. The Derma Blend is just such a finely milled setting powder. I love this when I use like a thicker or like a more full coverage concealer for my under eye. I love to break this out because it's so thin, but it does what it's supposed to do. I just literally love this. I have the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking setting powder, and I have the shade Banana Bread Maybelline Fit Me loose setting powder, and this is in the shade 10 Fair Light. You can see these are basically like dupes of one another. The Fit Me is nice because it's a way less heavy version of the Huda Beauty. The Huda Beauty I use when I need my foundation to last me all day. So like this is one of those powders that I use when I'm using my Estee Lauder foundation because they work so well together, but they are like your makeup is lasting all day long. You can sweat in it, go out, do whatever you want in it, and it is not going anywhere. So that's why I love the Huda Beauty. The only thing about the Huda that I hate is the smell. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm very weird when it comes to like smells of things. And the smell of this, I just wish she would just not have a scent. Also love the Maybelline Fit Me because this is great for all over the face as well. This is one of those setting powders that it doesn't, even though that the shade is Fair Light, it doesn't make my foundation look lighter than what it is, or like it doesn't alter the color or anything like that. And I find that certain setting powders can do that. Okay, whoa, pause. I almost forgot two items. The Fenty Beauty Island Ting bronzer. One of those bronzers as well that I just always tend to reach for, and Riri did that. This next product, I feel like doing this video without this powder would have been like a sin. And of course you guys already know the tried and true Holy Grail Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Airbrush Flawless Finish setting powder, and this is like my, what do they call that, like a compact. So you know, like back in the day, like when women used to wear makeup, they used to take their compact in their purse and they would like touch up. This is exactly that. I'm in the shade 2 medium. This powder is just really nice because it's lightweight. It doesn't add more coverage to your foundation. It just is a very nice all over set. And I also keep this in my bag because I use this to blot. So anywhere that I start to get like a little bit of oil or anything like that, I can't believe I almost forgot this. Like, girl, what is you doing? I feel like highlighter really took a back seat for me this year as far as like 2021. And I'm just gonna mention one highlighter that I used, you know, back to back, and that is the MAC Whisper of Guilt highlighter. This was one of those that is just cult favorite, like just tried and true. But first things first, if it's not KKW, it's MAC, and if it's not MAC, it's probably NYX. But all that I really used in 2021 was the KKW Nude lip pencils. I have the shade 1.5, I have the shade 2, 2.5, and then I also have the shade Love, which is a little bit more of like a pinky shade that also came with her like wedding bridal kind of collection, but it's a little pinky for me, so I stick to all of the nudes. These are my absolute favorite. You can sharpen them. They're so buttery, so creamy, like even more than MAC. Another reason why I reach for them so much. I feel like at this point everyone knows, everyone loves the Laneige lip sleeping mask. This is actually one of the balms, but this really goes on basically like a lip gloss for the most part, but it's actually a lip balm. So I like this because sometimes my sleeping mask, I don't like to use it when I'm outside because, you know, germs, the Rona, and stuff like that. I just don't want to be dipping my fingers into stuff. So I've been keeping this in my bag. I bought this in like a collection of like 3 or 4 over the holidays. Not this holiday, but last holiday, and I'm still hanging on to them. I also have 2 lipsticks that I want to mention. They are my like favorite nude lipsticks. This is the MAC Peach Stock lipstick. Peach Stock is just cult fave. At one point, all that I wore was MAC Peach Stock and MAC Myth. Myth is a little bit on the lighter side for me now. Like I don't do Myth as much as I used to, but Peach Stock is still my jam. Everyday like nude lip combo is usually Nude 2 lip liner from KKW, followed by Peach Stock, and then I grabbed this Kaja gloss shot last year, and I absolutely loved it. I barely used a lot of it. Number one, because I use my Laneige a lot as like a lip gloss, but also because with this, I would literally do like a dot at the bottom, a dot at the top, and that was it. Just like kind of rub my lips together and call it a day. These smell really good. They kind of smell, I think this is like a vanilla smell. Yeah, they're like vanilla-ish kind of smells. This I really loved last year. And then last but not least, my other nude that is one of my absolute favorites is KKW He's a Mixer. This as well is one of my absolute favorite nudes because it's one of those nudes that it's not a pinky nude, it is a true nude, and It's perfect for my complexion and for multiple different complexions. Y'all, I promise, last 3 items and we are completely done here. This is the Makeup by Mario. If I reached into a palette this year, it was by all means the Makeup by Mario palette. I actually discovered this palette in 2020. This is that palette, like the girls that get it, the girls that don't. And I just love this palette so much because there's just so many different nudes in this palette. So many different complexions can use it. This was one of my most used palettes, and you guys know I don't even do a lot of eye makeup, but if I did, I use this palette. I think I might have actually bought this whole pack back in July, and as you can tell, not only have I used every single pair, as you can see, they are so pretty and so wispy. They remind me exactly of lash extensions, and I'm literally obsessed with them. These you can find, well, I found them at My Sally's. The style that I get them in is number 27, and they're called Lashes in a Box. These are, I don't know if they're, this has 100%, I was gonna say mink lashes, but they're not mink. They're 100% handmade 10-piece eyelash set. These been my lashes for years, probably like 5 or 6 years already. It is the Kiss number 11 lashes. You guys already know these are basically demi wispies, like the ones from Ardell, but better. Like, these are for the girls. Like, I just feel like these in comparison to demi wispies are just so much more like flirty, and they have such a nice, like a nicer curl to them. They're just absolutely beautiful. Normally I stack these on top of each other and I get a really nice kind of like cat eye eyelash extension look. With both of these, I feel like if you put them on properly and like close enough to your lash line, you guys will totally see what I mean as far as like the lash extension look. I am a lash tech, but I'm also allergic to eyelash glue, so I can't get my eyelashes on it even if I wanted to. So with that being said, I had to find the next closest thing, and baby, these 2 lashes are the styles that do it for me. So hopefully I didn't forget anything. I don't think I did. I feel like those were definitely like my absolute favorites of 2021, and the items I like could not live without as far as like doing my makeup was concerned. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that like after I edit this, it's not super lengthy. But if you did make it to the end of this video, hey girl, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and that is all I have for you guys. I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.